Hello, I'm Donna Gority. Welcome to ArtsAltoona Live. We're here at the beautiful Altoona Area Public Library, and today we'll be chatting with Jennifer Knisley, who is the Executive Director of the Altoona Area Public Library. Jen, we're sitting here in the library and we're surrounded by books, magazines, newspapers, the traditional things that one expects to find in a library. But I know that libraries are so much more. Right now, I'm actually looking at videos. What other sorts of resources are in libraries these days?
Sure. So thank you for having me. It's a privilege to talk to you today about the library and about all of our libraries in Blair County. Traditionally, people do think of libraries as books, magazines, and newspapers, but when you walk into the Altoona Library or many of the other libraries in our county, you're going to find audiobooks, you're going to find maybe nooks that are preloaded with content that people can check out. Here at the Altoona Library, we also have cake pans that you can check out, so that Library of Things concept is coming into play. We have Wi-Fi hotspots. So our travelers that are going camping perhaps, or someplace where wireless connection may not be readily available to them, they can check out a hotspot from the library with unlimited data capabilities.
Wow.
For 2 weeks, and take that on the road. I took a group of Girl Scouts to the Poconos, and it was awesome. We have document scanners.
Good to know.
Yeah, we have puzzles, we have board games. There's so many things, and really for someone to come in and peruse the shelves and look around is really the best way to experience everything that the library has to offer.
I know there's e-books, audio books online and so forth, and you actually let people borrow the nooks and so forth themselves. You also have an art gallery here that certainly ties in with our ArtsAltoona theme. You have a theater, and I know from time to time you put on movies for kids or families. You also do documentaries that are open to the public. I know I've been here many times over the years for many sorts of activities. And public forums, public meetings that are important, if they're not too huge, can be held here at the library. Let's talk just very briefly about the Blair County Library System. I know you're also system administrator for the Blair County Library System. You all work together, and libraries, I believe, especially in the smaller communities, really are a core center of the community.
They absolutely are, and we are extremely fortunate here in Blair County to have 8 libraries, 8 public libraries. Each school district in our county is well equipped with a public library. The Spring Cove School District actually has 2 public libraries, both the Martinsburg Public Library and the Roaring Spring Community Library. The other libraries are scattered throughout. We have Claysburg, we have Williamsburg, Tyrone, Bellwood, Hollidaysburg, and Altoona. So we have 8, and again, we're very, very fortunate. One of the things that came out in our strategic plan for the Blair County Library System this year was to ensure 8 libraries in our county. So that is something that the system headquarters will be actively pursuing and working on, making sure that that continues.
It's something relatively new, the one card fits all.
Yeah,
so talk a little about that.
About a year ago, almost to the day, September 20th last year, the 8 libraries were meshed together into one union catalog. And what that meant for our patrons is that there was one searchable database with all of the holdings, all of the things that all of our libraries have to offer in one spot, and they no longer had to take up space in their wallets for 3, 4, or 5 library cards. The one library card can be used at any of our 8 libraries.
Now, I know that you also have computer labs. I know the very first time I went on the internet, it was at a library class many years ago here at Altoona to learn how to use this new thing called the internet. But you're way beyond that now with the computer lab, and you actually have 3D printers and all kinds of resources.
Yeah, so a couple of years ago we were able to get a grant from the Office of Commonwealth Libraries to equip what we call the Creation Lab. There are so many things up there. There's cinematography equipment up there. There's photography equipment. There's music equipment up there. The green screen is along the one side. The 3D printer is up there. We have software for people to create 3D objects that they wish to print, or they can bring in an object. We have a 3D scanner, so they can bring in an object, scan it, and then print it on our printer.
Well, it is back to school time, and so we're focused on youth. Talk to us about some of the things that go on in your youth room and related activities for kids and families in particular.
Sure. Our youth room is probably our most active place in the library most days. We have programming for kids and families as young as birth, really. At 12 months old, we encourage families to sign their kids up for what we call the Mother Goose program. And that's introducing rhyme and rhythm, really encouraging parents as their child's first and best teacher, and encouraging those parents to include print, rhyme, in their daily activity with their children. Toddler time is for 24 months to 36 months, and with that program, we kind of get into beginning to take turns and group play. And it really turns into almost a support group for our parents. That's a very difficult age developmentally. And a lot of times, families might feel as though they're the only family who's dealing with a certain issue.
Behavior.
Yeah. Story time then is for 36 months to kindergarten age, and it's much more structural and predictable as to what's going to happen, and we incorporate more individual participation in that. And again, the families kind of all come together with Mother Goose, and then they're still together, a couple of years later when they graduate from story time. One of the passive programs that we have in the youth room right now is an initiative through our state library, and it's called Play K. So there are playscapes, they're called, and it's basically a themed kit that's put out in the youth room so that families can come in when they're available, and it is child and family initiated interactive play.
Great.
So we provide the things, and the families come in, and sometimes there's more than one family doing something at the same time. Sometimes it's just one family, but they're able to experience that as a family. And I should say that across the county, we do our preschool programming citing the Pennsylvania Standards for Early Childhood Education. Right. We're very mindful that everything we do as a library, as an educational institution, then be supportive of children when they're entering into the public school system or parochial school system.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know that you're participating in something called Super Mega Fun Day. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Super Mega Fun Day. I think this is the 3rd year that we've been able to and asked to be a partner for Super Mega Fun Day. The planetarium at the high school, Quaint Corner Children's Museum, they come together and they offer an experience for families. And it really is a day-long experience for families, traveling around the city, getting to know some of these other local treasures that are available, that families might not be aware of everything that Quaint Corner has to offer, or the programs that the planetarium puts on.
And I know that the Railroaders Memorial Museum is part of that, and Fort
thank
Roberto as well. So it's many community resources that we want families to experience. Lifelong learning is so important, and I know you have many other resources. Ancestry.com.
Right.
I don't think you mentioned, but what are some of those other sorts of things that we may want to access that no longer have children that we're raising?
Yeah, sure. So genealogy research right now is very popular. And so, the library does have a subscription to Ancestry.com, as well as newspaper archives, which is another really great genealogy resource. We have the obituary index and the birth index on our website for people who are interested in that. And then we also offer classes for people who are looking at exploring technology in a new way at their level. So we have basic computer class, we have advanced computer class. If you're,
Excel.
we have Excel. If you're, wanting to, look at your home finances in a little bit different way, and you've never really dabbled in Excel, come into the library. We'll give you the basics, and you can ask questions of our staff, who make themselves available for individual sessions as well. A lot of times, right after Christmas, people will get devices of some sort or the other, and they're not exactly certain how to fully exploit everything that device can do for them. And so, we've got our community education librarians ready and willing to make individual appointments with people, so that they can experience everything on those devices.
Right. I know that libraries get some government money. I know the county has helped to fund historically, as well as state resources, but you rely also on local resources, contributions. You have Friends, which does fundraisers, upcoming used book sale you might want to mention, and then things such as memorial contributions when someone passes away, or somebody's achieved a great award or an honor. It can be a recognition of that too. So expand on that a bit.
To expand on the Friends, our Friends of the Altoona Area Public Library group are an awesome group of volunteers. They work tirelessly to ensure that the library is financially supported annually. We've actually received contributions from them of $50,000 for a number of years now. In addition, they operate our used book sale twice a year. The next one is coming up October 27, 28, and 30. That's the one here in Altoona, but all of our public libraries have used book sales. So if you're sitting out in one of those outlying areas and you've got some books that you'd like to donate, please visit one of those libraries I mentioned earlier. They would be happy to take donations of gently used books to support their book sales.
And then
as well.
shop and replenish
Right.
your
Just
own
keep bringing
bookshelves,
them
right?
Yeah.
I know that the Altoona Area Public Library celebrating 90 years of existence. So
We are.
any special activities related to that?
Each month, since April, we've been highlighting 1 decade of our existence. So we started in April with the 1920s. September, we're in the groovy 70s. So we have a book display of books that were very popular or on the bestseller list in the 1970s. I know that Tiffany in the children's room is doing a Super Saturday, a groovy Super Saturday, with some 70s themed activities. In November, we're going to be having a birthday party for the library, and we will be doing a time capsule at that point.
Cool.
To be opened at our 100th birthday. So I know that Josh McConnell, our digital media librarian, is working on some oral histories to put in that time capsule. We're going to have the children involved with creating some artwork as to what they visualize their lives to be in 10 years when the library is celebrating our 100th birthday.
Wonderful, wonderful. You're going to have to tease your hair up for big hair 80s.
80s, that's next month. I'm ready, I have it.
I know ArtsAltoona has already used the library resources. You've been part of our steering committee for a while now. You helped us to access the display cases, and we used one of the labs upstairs to teach people, artists and others, how to use our ArtsAltoona webpage and other resources. So I know you've been a wonderful resource to us, as you have to others. I know you mentioned to me earlier test proctoring isn't something that I was aware that that you do here. What other sorts of things might people not be aware of?
Yeah, sure. So test proctoring, you mentioned we have a lot of distance learners in our community, and a lot of times when they're taking those exams, they have to have a certified proctor kind of in the room with them, and so we do offer that to our community. It's one of the things that as a community ed facility, we like to offer that. We have so many creative programming opportunities for our community. Once a month, we have a group come into the boardroom downstairs and teach people knitting. You don't need to know how to knit when you come, but you will know how to knit when you leave. We have Shelley
Crochet
Williams.
too, or just knitting?
I'm not sure. I think they probably can do crochet as well. Shelley Williams is a certified Zentangle trainer. That is bringing meditation in with, you know, the creative arts of, you know, pen and ink
Very
type
popular.
of drawings and
Right.
things like that. So there are a lot of things going on that people can use the
Right.
library for.
Right. Well, anything further that you'd like our viewers to know about the Altoona Area Public Library and the Blair County Library System?
Sure. I would just say that, you know, libraries are recreation centers. We are educational institutions. We are social clubs. We are safe spaces. We're all of those things. And when you think about it, and I challenge you to think about it, another community organization that can provide all of those things for the community in such an efficient manner as our public libraries do in the county.
Very proud to be part of it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.